Hello, everyone. So, today we're going to be talking about a character who is able to be any animal, not only on the planet, but in the entire universe. Of course, we're talking about Animal Man. Animal Man's first appearance was Strange Adventures number 180 in September 1965, and his creators are Dave Wood and Carmine Infantino. Now, in his late teens, Buddy Baker was a happy punk rocker kid. One fall afternoon, he went hunting in the Adirondack Mountains, and when he returned home, he had physically changed and mentally changed. Whatever it was, something in the woods had connected him to what is variously referred to as the red, or the life web, or the morphogenetic field. Now, this force binds together every living animal on Earth. After encountering some escaped animals from a nearby zoo, Buddy discovered that in the presence of an animal, he was able to absorb its special abilities. Now, at the suggestion of his best friend, Roger Denning, Buddy donned an orange and blue costume and started a minor career as a superhero named Animal Man, partially for just having fun, but partially as a way to promote their rock band at the time. And Buddy actually managed to do several heroic deeds in that time, ranging from foiling a few robberies at the local pet store all the way to battling actual space aliens. Now, after a few years of adventuring, Buddy retired his Animal Man identity, married his high school girlfriend, Ellen Fraser, and moved to San Diego. Now, at the time, they were living on the salary that Ellen's work as an illustrator received, and Buddy just started a new career as a movie stuntman. The couple mortgaged a house in the suburbs and raised two beautiful children, Cliff and Maxine. Now, Buddy thought his superhero days were over, but that was all about to change. After stumbling on an ancient golden pyramid, he was contacted by the mysterious Immortal Man. Now, joining up with other has-been adventurers, including Cave Carlson, Dane Dorrance, and Dolphin, who had encountered similar pyramids around the world, Animal Man became part of the organization called the Forgotten Heroes. Under Immortal Man's direction, the group was able to destroy the pyramids, saving the entire world in the process. And for a time, the group stayed together, opposing threats such as Vital Savage and the Forgotten Villains. Now, Buddy returned to his family life, although the thought of superheroics was still nagging in his head. He wanted to make a difference, but had to support his family as well. Convinced that there was still a place for Animal Man in this world, Buddy resumed his full-time heroic superhero career, battling villains such as the new Mirror Master and a delirious Bawana Beast. He also assisted in foiling the invasion of Earth by the Alien Alliance. Still not satisfied with what he's done, Buddy made the decision to become a protector of all animal life on Earth. He sabotaged fox hunting in England, dolphin slaughter in the Faroe Islands, and animal experiments all over the United States. He worked with Vixen to overthrow the government of Mchanga, and with the Freedom Beast, he opposed the apartheid powers of South Africa. About this time, he learned from a scientist named James Highwater that his powers were far greater than he had initially believed, due to his previously unknown contact with the morphogenetic field. Now, later on, he becomes a Justice League member in good standing of the European branch. Now, during that time, he would access their base of operation via a teleporter in his basement. Now, he was also able to draw a monthly salary, and as part of the JLE, he battled the Queen Bee and the Time Commander. The media wrote many articles about him, and his popularity increased. And at that time, everything was going his way. And when it wasn't anymore, after a fireman had accidentally been unalived in a fire started by his animal activist group, a shocked Buddy began to reconsider the path he had then chosen. He asked himself if superheroics and the illegal sabotage activities were the right ways to go. He quits the Justice League and the activist group, attempting to hang up his superhero costume for good. Now, the second crisis and Grant Morrison version is pretty interesting. When a corporate organization, they were worried about the popularity of left-wing Animal Man, threatened to kill his family if he did not stop doing his deeds. Buddy teams up with a Mirror Master to oppose them. Suddenly he finds himself in the role of a hero once again, getting tangled up in saving the world from a second crisis at the hands of the psycho pirate. And ultimately, believe it or not, had learned the fact that he was a comic book character. He even got to meet his own writer, Grant Morrison. Naturally, Buddy was not allowed to remember such revelations, and sometime after these events, he woke up from a coma with amnesia. This would have been his return to normal life had it not been for the fact that the world he woke up in was that of an alternate Buddy Baker. Now, in this world, Ellen had divorced him. America was controlled by an alternative government, and Buddy himself had no control over his powers. And after a few weird, odd adventures, Buddy would actually return to his home world. Now, once again, a movie stuntman, Buddy continues as a part-time superhero, but his life was getting weirder still. His powers continued to malfunction. Birds died when he was just flying around. He absorbed animal behavior and appearance unexpectedly. The animals around him acted strange, and after his powers accidentally had killed every animal in the San Diego Zoo, Buddy and his family moved to Ellen's mother's farm in Pownal, Vermont. Later, it was revealed that the reason for this animal weirdness was the coming of the Shining Man. During the course of events, Buddy encountered a Native American shaman named, quote, Stone that cracked open the earth like an egg, who then revealed that Buddy was one of a group of chosen people called the Animal Masters. They were all destined to be the guardians of nature. Together with fellow Animal Masters Vixen and Tristesse, Animal Man was able to defeat the Shining Man. He also learned that his daughter Maxine was an Animal Master as well, and she develops powers very similar to his own. Now, as we study up on the connection to the, quote, Red, he settles down at the farm in Vermont. But his next mission was to fetch his son back, who had been kidnapped by Ellen's insane Uncle Dudley. While looking for his son, Buddy was run over by Dudley's car and actually had been unalived. His life force survived, however, and after many months living in the bodies of various animals, he was reborn as a hybrid animal and saved Cliff. Now, later on, he was able to learn to recreate his original body. Still, though, Buddy was still now legally called deceased, which he didn't really mind. He had become tired of city life and superheroics and was being content to live in peace on a farm with his reunited family. Fearing that nature would inevitably get rid of the vermin called humans, he started thinking of ways to make them understand what they were doing to their planet. Ellen's mother's farm became something of an, quote, ark, a refuge for outcasts who did not fit in anywhere. Among them was a woman named Annie Cassidy, who also stood in contact with the Red, and her daughter, Lucy Cassidy, who started a relationship with Cliff. More and more, Buddy felt the animal instincts were taking him over, and he became overwhelmed by the power of the Red. The strength and connection to the Red made Buddy step over the line and once again adopt the appearance of a hybrid animal. He went flying into a rage to Washington, D.C., threatening humanity to change their ways or completely go under. At the end, the authorities captured him, but he was released soon after, pretty much due because of a lot of compassion from many of the Americans who believed this, quote, Animal Man had a valid point. Now, Annie comes up with an idea. Buddy wanted to change the ways of humanity, and they already had many followers. Why not just start a cult or a religion? With Buddy as an enraged prophet and Maxine as the savior, the, quote, Life Power Church of Maxine, question mark, immediately grew in popularity, especially among young people as they can be easily influenced. Ellen could not cope with all of this, especially not after Buddy revealed that he had kind of an, quote-unquote, affair with Annie. Alienated by their community and the forces she did not really understand, she finally broke up with Buddy. Buddy, Maxine, Cliff, Annie, Lucy, and their followers traveled across the state, picking up countless new quote unquote disciples and rebuilding animals in a wild caravan on Route 66. Dubbed, quote, the Red Plague by the media, they finally settled down as a church in Montana. Now, after this, Buddy entered what we can refer to as the cosmic phase. Now, once again, he died and was reborn, this time with a white and black striped hair. While his friends worked with the church's activities on Earth, Buddy became less aggressive, making an odyssey through his various realms in search for universal truth. Now, he has many revelations from agents of higher power, among them a spiritual bulldog named Mr. Cow, ultimately battling an evil called the Spider Queen, and Buddy finally realizes that the truth was inside of him all along. Just as diamonds and coal are the same substance, so is the divine and the human. Buddy, as well as anyone else, has the body of a god and the soul of the world. With this knowledge, he easily defeated the Spider Queen. Shortly after, Annie gave birth to a second daughter, supposedly a human incarnation of the world soul. Now, a few months later, Animal Man appears in public again, dressed in his old colorful garb, and once again with blonde hair. At the start of the new millennium, Buddy attended a party together with the Swamp Thing, Shade, the Changing Man, and Black Orchid. Together they helped stop the coming of a strange new world as envisioned by a Bernie Madden. He also rejoined the Forgotten Heroes, joining the Immortal Man and Resurrection Man in a battle against Vital Savage and the Millennium Creature. In the New 52, Animal Man was stranded on a paradise-like planet with Pharaoh heroes Starfire and Adam Strange. Now, after several weeks, Adam was able to get his spaceship working, and they departed for Earth. Their ship, however, was attacked by Devilants, who they had encountered on the planet and pursued them into space. Now, Lobo appears just in time to destroy Devilants, and after some negotiation, agrees to help them out. During a battle with Lady Styx and her horde, Animal Man was killed by a necrotoxin, which causes its victims to rise again in the service of Lady Styx. Now, Animal Man made Starfire promise not to let him come back as a zombie. Moments after Starfire and Adam Strange left Animal Man in space, he came back to life. The aliens that originally granted his power stood next to him saying, "And so it begins," after plucking him out of the time stream and repairing his body. Now, Animal Man reaches out to another life form in order to survive and claims the abilities of a group of Sun Eaters, including a homing sense. He then observed his wife from a wormhole in space, pondering whether to return to Earth, as he saw her with another man. Now, Buddy finally returns, describing the marvels of space to his delighted family. Ellen held a party to celebrate his return, but some followers of Lady Styx appeared, bent upon unaliving the entire family. They were eliminated by Starfire, who had partially recovered from wounds suffered in space. She delivered Buddy's jacket and then fainted out of surprise when she saw him alive, leaving the family to care for her. Buddy and Ellen were later visited by members of the Justice League, who thought the alterations to his powers and those of Vixen might be connected. He and Vixen were absorbed by the Tantu totem by Anazi. Now, Anazi claims to actually be the aliens who had given Buddy his powers, but also reminded them that he was a god of lies and stories. Now, before they escape, he returns Buddy's powers to their original form. Now, as far as powers and abilities go with this character, he is a conduit of the Red, which is an energy field that connects every animal ever to have lived on Earth. The Red actually extends past Earth and exists as a universal concept. In 52, Buddy experiences an upgrade that allows him to connect to the universe's morphogenetic field, providing him with unlimited access to all animals in the universe regardless of origin, making him one of the most powerful beings to ever exist. This power also extends to non-animal microorganisms, but not to plants, which are part of the green, controlled by Swamp Thing, or fungi and molds, which are connected to the gray. He is also capable of animal mimicry, but he can mimic any abilities of any animal as a result of his encounter with a crashed alien spacecraft. He does this by either focusing on a specific animal near him by drawing power of the animal kingdom in general. The nature of these powers has been described in various ways, including the superficial alien radiation, which is the explanation of his early appearances, the reconstitution of his body by aliens, and currently mystical access to a morphogenetic field created by all living creatures. He doesn't exactly grow wings when he needs to fly as a bird, nor does he form gills to breathe underwater when mimicking a fish, but he has occasionally been known to mimic the actual appearances of animals, such as adopting the claws of a wolverine temporarily. His powers have changed considerably in the New 52, and after he was unalived and reborn by the Red into a body that takes on the aspects of the animals whose powers he's using at the time. Now with this, it results in him changing into a chimera-like being. Now Buddy is able to tap into more than just one animal, as observed during his second fight with the Biwana beast. In that fight, he channeled the regenerative powers of a salamander, but the camouflage of a chameleon. Now some of the powers Buddy usually uses is the strength of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, or the flight of a bird, or the swimming ability of a fish, or the speed or strength of an ant. He can even have the regeneration ability of a worm, or become a wall-crawling spider. Buddy's abilities are not proportional to the size of the animal they're drawn from. Hence, drawing the jumping ability from a flea would allow him to cover great distances. However, taking the abilities of larger animals does not exactly result in diminished power for him. He's capable of force blasts that tap completely into the red. He can use the primordial energies to start a completely new universe. He has the ability of animal empathy. This ability to transfer his life essence has allowed him to survive even when his body has been totally unalive. Animal Man can, to a lesser degree, control animals by entering their minds. He can also transfer his mind into living animals of any kind. However, there are a little bit of limitations in that he has power limitation. But he can only absorb the ability of another animal for approximately 30 minutes before having to recharge his connection with that creature. Anyway, we hope you enjoy this video of Animal Man. This character is a wild one, to say the least. To follow his storyline from back in 1965 is a little rough, but it's very interesting. Anyway, you guys have a great night, a good morning, a wonderful evening, whichever. Please like, share, and subscribe. We really do appreciate that. Also, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think of this video, as well as write down a character that you would like us to talk about here at this channel, and we'll see if we can't make it happen. As always, Excelsior.